Okay, I think we are live. Let me check. Check one, check two, check one. How's everything? How's your weekend so far? Let me see if I'm live. Okay, 1 second. Right, I'm live. Welcome back to Ask Jason Anything Sunday live session. Basically, I do this every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Malaysia time. So, what I do here is I'll be answering questions that I collect on my YouTube channel. So, if you have any questions regarding Facebook advertising, especially when it comes to Facebook ads optimization, and you have got some challenges that you don't understand about your Facebook ads campaign that you probably need some quick answer, all you need to do is you go to my YouTube channel. First thing first, try to search for an answer because I've actually answered a lot of questions. Actually, this is already 130 over episode. Over the years, I've actually answered a lot of questions. I've gotten about like 1,000 over videos on my YouTube channel. So first thing first, try to search for an answer. If you can find anything relevant to your question, then you can actually get a quick fix and move on to do whatever you need, right? So, but if you can't find an answer to your question in any way, all you need to do is just post your question as a comment on any of my YouTube videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you later. I'm going to bring your questions here on the following Sunday night at 10 p.m. Malaysia time, and I'll be answering your questions live like this. So if you can join me, if you ask questions, then you'll be good if you can join me to listen to my answers. But nonetheless, I'll be doing this. This is how I answer questions. The reason why I don't reply in your comment is because it doesn't really work in terms of because digital marketing or Facebook advertising can be quite technical. So definitely I prefer to answer questions in a more like direct manner this way. Okay, so yeah, let me bring this up. Okay, now yeah, before I start with the questions that I've collected on my YouTube channel, I will be like going through some of the questions. Oh, sorry, I'll be answering questions that I got on my YouTube channel first, and I'll be coming back to your questions. If you have any questions real quick, you can actually just type in the comment, and I would actually be able to pin it over here to look at to quickly answer you. Hopefully nothing hiccups over here. So yeah. Now, before we gonna roll on this, if just in case if you have some quick questions, because sometimes some questions people prefer not to, to ask in the public. If you want to have a one-on-one with me via Zoom call, for you to answer any questions you have regarding Facebook advertising, you can actually scan this QR code. This will lead you to my Fiverr gig. All you need to do is just pay for the gig, and you'll be able to schedule a 30-minute one-on-one call with me to, you know, to actually go through any questions you have on Facebook advertising. Okay, that's the first one. And second thing here is I run a Facebook ads masterclass live training every month. Basically, the next one is coming up in October. But nonetheless, if you are looking to learn Facebook advertising in a quick way, all you need to do is just scan this QR code. This will lead you to my landing page, and from there, you'll be able to find out when will be the next live training for Facebook ads masterclass. So if the date fits you, just sign up. But nonetheless, I would recommend you to sign up anyway because actually learning Facebook advertising cannot wait. So just sign up because you will get the recording. So what I'll be covering in Facebook Ads Masterclass will be fundamentally the 5 elements. First thing first, it's gonna be like I'll be sharing about my Facebook ads strategy framework to give you guidance on how you can actually strategize your Facebook ads campaign. That's the first thing. Then after that, followed by Facebook ads objectives. Because if you do not really understand the usage of each objectives, you might be making mistake in selecting the wrong one, which will lead to the entire downfall of the campaign performance as well. So that's the first thing. After the objective, I'll be talking about my Facebook ads targeting techniques. This is where I'll be sharing with you how you can actually pinpoint and find the best target audience to run your ads to. So that's a very important thing to learn. And that's the third thing. And the fourth thing is I'll be sharing based on current cases that I'm actually coaching and managing right now. What are the ads that work? What are the ads that don't work to give you guidance about what you should be doing for your ads creative and copywriting? So this will be the fourth element. And the last one is, well, I'll be sharing with you my analytical framework. As in my opinion, running ads is the easiest part. Everyone with a Facebook account, you can actually just quickly set up a Facebook ads account and start running ads because that's what Facebook wants you to do, right? But after you actually started running the ads, how do you find out? How do you actually analyze? And how do you know whether you're doing the right thing or not? Whether are there any opportunities for you to get better result at the lower cost, for example? So the analytical eye is actually very important. So that's the fifth element that I'll be sharing. So yeah, if this is something that you want to actually level up to, to do Facebook ads in the better way, in the right way, scan this QR code and enroll in the next training. Okay. All right. So now let's go to the first question I get. This is actually a very common questions that I get. So I want to actually quickly do a quick answering on this question. So there are situations where you are running a Facebook ads campaign, for example, you've been running for like 2 weeks, for example, and out of sudden it started to drop in terms of the number of conversion that you are getting, or whether it's the number of leads that you're getting, and the costs are starting to come up. So what most people will be doing here is when the Facebook ads costs suddenly become expensive, what most people would do is they will either pause the campaign, which is most likely one of the most commonly mistake that a lot of advertisers are making. They will pause the campaign, and then they either go back to reinvent the wheel of like getting maybe different kind of creative. They work on the creative or they work on the copywriting, and some of them will be actually going back to tweak the audience targeting because they believe there must be something that goes wrong in either one of these two problems, which is one of them is audience targeting, the other one is ad creative. But here's what I would like to actually back to differ over here. Look, remember, this is a campaign that has been running well for 2 weeks. It has gotten you the results you want at the cost that you are very happy to pay, for 2 weeks, and out of sudden it stopped working, and you go back and change the creative or change the audience targeting. What you're actually essentially doing here is you are denying that the fact that it was working well. So here's what I want you to actually take a pause and take a step back and look at the situation again, because it has been working well. So that most probably means the audience targeting is correct and the creative is all right. So what I wanted to actually get you to take a step back and look at here is it could be because of some seasonal issues, or it could be some market competition suddenly getting very, like competitive, that is causing your ad creative or so-called the ad cost to become more expensive. So here's what I would probably do. First thing first, you go and check your CPM to see whether, is there a spike in terms of CPM? Now, CPM is cost per thousand impression. This is a number that you have no control over, but it's actually affected by the market competition. When there are more advertisers coming into the market, the CPM will get high. So when your ads cost become expensive because of CPM, that is probably temporary. Why? Because market competition can go away. Meaning like it could be like 10-10 or 11-11 or Black Friday that is, getting a lot of advertisers coming in, flushing in a lot of ads budget that is pushing the CPM to come up, but these will subside. So you might want to actually probably scale down or, like scale back a little bit or retreat a little bit, let this wave over, and probably you come back and you might be seeing the similar ads result or so-called a cost, in as previously you were getting. So that's something that I want you to start looking into. So that's one part. Now, the other part is probably, the behavior shift happened to your campaign or among your audiences that is causing the ads or result to kind of like fluctuate. Like, for example, in most cases, when there's school holiday, right? Especially the beginning of school holiday, in our part of the world, the parents will be busy because they will be taking their kids to holiday or planning activities for their kids or something like that. So they will have lesser time to consume advertisement and to react to advertisement. So that could be a time where your CTR might drop significantly, maybe that is causing your result to drop significantly. So when these things are the, like the problems that is causing the ads cost to come up, I don't want you to make the wrong decision by changing the audience targeting or changing the ad creative just because you thought it is the reason. So yeah, that's something that I want to really, just to give you an idea about when your ads cost is getting more expensive, check on these two things. And if it's really, the fluctuation that is really happening on either CPM or the CTR, then you probably want to take a step back, wait for this wave to over, then you probably will come back and, you might get back the result that you want. But nonetheless, these are just two basic fundamentals that we check when the ad costs are starting to get more expensive. So if you're facing similar situation and you have checked these two metrics and you still can't seem to find the probable reason that is causing the ad cost to come up, we probably can actually dive deeper into your campaign and find out. So if that's something that you want to look into, I would like to invite you to scan this QR code. This will take you to my Fiverr gig, and All you need to do is just pay for this, and you'll be able to schedule a 30-minute one-on-one Facebook ads review with me. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into your Facebook ads campaign, and we're going to look at your metrics and everything, and we will try to find out what really happened to your Facebook ads campaign. So whether you are facing some problem, like either it's the cost become expensive, or any problem that you're facing, or any doubt that you have on your campaign, I would actually recommend that you take on this gig, because this is where we can actually really find out what is happening to your Facebook ads campaign and really plan optimization steps to probably improve your Facebook ads campaign by getting more results at a lower cost, or probably getting more conversion for your Facebook ads campaign, whether it's a lead gen or like sales campaign for your e-commerce. So if that's something that you want to look into, scan this QR code and we can speak. All right. So that's one question I get a lot. And the second question we have here is coming from Junior. So Junior is asking, you're wondering whether if you use the same Facebook ad account for two different stores, would that be a problem? You will use different pixel for each store. Can data get mixed up, or any problem can occur? Technically, you can actually use your Facebook ads account for as many businesses as possible, all right, and connect to as many pixels as you want. But I actually do not recommend that. In based on our observation, the Facebook ads account would actually learn based on the business that you're running, especially when you're running two different businesses. It's actually more recommended to actually have separate Facebook ads account. So it's actually very easy when you're doing this in Facebook Business Manager, the Meta Business Manager. You can actually create multiple ad account. It's better do it that way, because eventually you will have different billing for different account. Let's say company A, you will have one ad account which would have its own billing, and the other one will have its own billing. And of course, we will connect to the individual meta pixel, which actually can help the particular campaign and pixel to learn better and more pure in terms of whether this audience or the conversion or whatever that is, really accumulating the data on each of the accounts itself. So that's what I would actually recommend you to do. So in my opinion, it's better to use one account for one business. But having said that, it is totally nothing wrong to use one ad account for multiple businesses, especially if that's your intention is to streamline, make it easy for you to manage, and you don't mind mixing the billing and all that. I'm fine. I think it's okay. But then again, remember, pixel and account learns about the business, and the better it learns, okay, the better it might get you, more people that are more likely to take the action that you really want to target for your business. So that's something that I want you to consider. All right. So that's coming from Junior. Thank you for your question. And the next one is coming from Ayo. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, so the question is about, you boosted a post on your Facebook page. You paid for the boost. You paid for the boost, and the payment went through, but it's not reflecting in your page. Manage ads on the page. It has been only 30 minutes. What do you do? I actually do not know. Because there are some bugs floating around when it comes to Facebook Ads Manager or Meta Ads Manager. So what I would recommend you to do is, if you're still not seeing the ad in your account right now, you probably want to go in and check whether you use the right Facebook Ads account to actually boost your post, because you might have multiple ad account, and you probably use the wrong so-called ad account, and you probably can go in and check whether you can actually switch to your other ad accounts to see whether the ad is in other ad account. So that's one thing. Now, second thing is probably, I'm not quite sure what happened unless I get to see it. So the other problem is, it could be some bug. You either refresh, or you can actually log out from Facebook and log back in again to see whether you still see the same thing over there. So that's something that you can actually try. But nonetheless, if you still can't see anything, I would recommend that you contact Meta support. Because that's the best way to go about it, frankly speaking, because there might be some technical bugs or whatever that is happening to your campaign, that it's better solved by Meta. But of course, if you can't get Meta to help you, and if you want me to quickly jump on a Zoom call with you to look at whatever problem that you are facing, to give you recommendation about what you can do next, you can actually then scan this QR code. Well, this will lead you to my Fiverr gig, where you can, book a 30-minute one-on-one session with me via Zoom to ask any questions you have. So what we can do here is we can actually, like just do the Zoom screen sharing, and we will dive into your Ads Manager or Meta Business Suite or Meta Business Manager to see, what really happened to your boost, and see whether we are able to pinpoint the problem and help you find your ad in any way possible. But then again, like I say, I do not guarantee, because I will have to see this to know what to do next. So if that's something that you want to consider, then you probably can just scan this QR code and book a game with me. Yeah, so that's how we can actually do this together. All right. Thanks for the question. Then the next one is coming from, someone. So you are permanently restricted on your Facebook profile. Hope to hear from me soon. Yeah, this is where you are hearing from me. So what do you want to know? So if your profile is permanently restricted, it's actually kind of the end of it. So my recommendation is actually to borrow someone else's profile. Do not create a new one, but borrow someone else's that has been around for at least a few years, and create a new business manager, create a new page, and create a new ad account and start running ads. That's how I would actually recommend you to do. Because frankly, if a profile is restricted permanently, at the moment there's no workaround. You won't be able to get it back in probably anyway at the moment. So yeah, but we don't cling on that. What we want is really we want to run ads. So if you really want, just all you want to do is just to get back into running ads, just create a new one and start running ads. That's what I think. Okay, all the best. Now the next one is coming from Epic. So you have one domain. Wait, you say, yeah, my recommendation would be one domain, one pixel. So your question is, what if you have multiple domains? Can we use the same pixel? All these multiple domains are in the same industry, basically target similar audience. I do not recommend. I understand where you're coming from. You're probably hoping that, all these visitors and all that would actually kind of like condense the learning of the pixel, probably, because you're saying that these are all coming from the same industry. And hopefully from there, you're able to, I don't know, get better result, or I don't know what's the intention of using that. But frankly speaking, the best practice really here is one domain, one pixel, right? Because we want the pixel to learn, like solely on one domain. Because even though it's coming from the same industry and all that, there might be different persona because of different business positioning and all that. I would recommend to use one pixel for one domain. But having said that, if you really want to do one pixel for multiple domain, and you know what you're doing, I do not object. I've seen clients doing that, as long as they're comfortable with that. But eventually you understand that all your events will be mixed up, like your conversion will be mixed up, your lead or whatever, all these conversion events will be mixed up. So in the future, if you're using all the data to run ads, then you probably will be getting multiple different, like data coming from different domains. So that's something that you want to actually consider, right? That's what I think. Anyway, so yeah. And we have a quick question here coming from, like Sam. Can you set up pixel for subdomain? Now you can, but why would you want to do that? But then again, having said that, yes, you can. So yeah, no problem. You can actually do that. All right. So that's the question about pixel. Yeah, so that's probably it for now that I get from on my YouTube channel, and I don't see more questions coming in. Now, any one of you who wants to get a quick question answered, via Zoom one-on-one with me, because some involves some PNC data that you are not comfortable revealing it in the public over here like this. If you want to have a one-on-one Zoom call with me, scan this QR code and we can actually have a 30-minute one-on-one discussion to go through your questions and to look at whatever challenges that you're having right now. Now, I have another question here. Okay, because when it comes to Facebook advertising, all right, the ad creative is actually pretty important. Because frankly speaking, CTR stands for click-through rate over here. So how do we improve click-through rate? Now you have to understand there are two sets of click-through rate here. First is click CTR all, which is the percentage of people who click on anything on the ad itself, including like button, your profile to go over to see whether you're for real, click to play the video and all that. So that's CTR all. And the other one is CTR link click. Now, CTR link click is really the percentage of people who click on the call to action button and probably go to the next step, whether it's your landing page, whether to start a conversation with you on Messenger or to submit a lead or something like that. But CTR link click essentially is a very important metric. So for CTR all, our benchmark is 2%. And for CTR link click, our benchmark is 1%. Generally for all industry, that's what we aim for, but it's not carved on the stone. But having said that, like, because a lot of people ask me, how can I improve my results or my ROAS without increasing budget? So that's what a lot of people are actually asking. So how do we do that? Actually, very simple. If you're able to increase CTR, say for example, if your CTR link click is now maybe 0.5%, that means every 1,000 impressions, you get 50 clicks, for example. So that's 0.5%, right? So basically, if you are able to increase your CTR to 1%, that means by spending the same amount of money, by reaching the similar 1,000 impressions, you get 100 clicks instead. Do you think you are potentially, you might get, more, I mean, because you get more clicks at the lower cost already, at the same cost that you're paying overall. Do you think you might get more results in return? Generally, if logically all plays well, it might happen. So in fact, this is one of the way that we can actually improve campaign performance without adding budget. So this is where, when you have a CTR, this is how we can actually keep testing. When it comes to CTR, it's pretty much about testing creative. So you can actually test different creative to see you're able to improve the CTR. So testing creative, it could be on the image itself or the video itself, or by improving the call to action as well. So this is one of the way that we can actually improve campaign performance without touching the budget. And of course, down the road, there are many other things that we can actually test as well. This is just one of them. Like, for example, if you find out that your conversion from, like the outbound click to your landing page view is really bad, then you probably want to consider whether, is your website having some loading issue? Whether you can actually try to speed up the loading time to improve your server performance or something like that, because that might be a potential so-called hack that we can actually apply to improve your campaign performance. So when it comes to Facebook ads or Meta ads optimization, it's really not just about the creative or the audience targeting. Those are two important things. But then again, when it comes to optimization, there are many areas that we can actually look into. That's why what I'm actually trying to, help more Facebook advertisers like you to understand here is, it's really more about understanding the entire journey and gaining the ability to spot and identify optimization based on metrics. We don't make decision based on gut feeling. That's the key. A lot of people actually make decision based on gut feeling. You ask yourself whether this is something that you are doing right. Most of the time, you just feel that you need to change creative. You just feel that it's time for you to actually reset up the campaign by selecting new audience targeting. You just feel, but it's not backed by data. That's what I want to highlight. So what I really want to actually advocate here is, when it comes to Meta ads or Facebook ads optimization, I need to actually apply and learn, the so-called the analytical way of optimization. So basically, you learn based on the data, you dive into the numbers and find out what are the optimization, and we build one hypothesis at a time. So if today we test the creative, then just let it be to see whether the CTR improves or not. If not, then we test the next variable and one variable at a time. So that's what we do. So optimization is a journey. It's not the just one hack, like solve it all. And based on my experience after working with thousands of Facebook advertisers from all around the world over the past 10 odd years, there is no one set of rules that applies to all. But generally, they are a guideline to do that. But then again, it's really about the particular business that we are working on. So how do we start? Actually, if you're running ads, especially yourself, and you are actually looking to level up and really find out what have you done right or wrong. You see, it's not just about campaign that is not working. In my opinion, if you have a campaign that is working, my next question to you here is, do you know why? If you do not know why your campaign is working, then you probably want to actually find out, because that could be a very important so-called opportunity for you to optimize your campaign. Okay, without spending more money, which is possible. So if that's something that you want to look into, which is the next level, we talk about the Meta ads optimization or Facebook ads optimization. If you run ads especially, and if you're ready to look into your campaign and find out what happened, I'm actually inviting you to scan this QR code and book a 30-minute one-on-one Facebook ads review by me. So what we're going to do is, this is going to be a Zoom call where we will dive into your existing campaign and look at what, based on the data, what have you done right or wrong, and I will actually draw you a plan on how can you optimize your campaign. We actually will have multiple optimization possibilities. So from there, you'll be able to, like if you want to do it on your own, then please, start testing one hypothesis at a time. Hopefully, we can actually improve your campaign with minor tweak or important tweak that you probably don't know yet. So it's all in the numbers. If that's something that you want to do, scan this QR code, and we can actually, do that together real quick in a 30-minute Zoom call over there. All right. Okay. Now we have some questions over here. First, we have a question from Jasmine. What does it mean by creative fatigue? Creative fatigue generally means your ad has been shown to the similar bunch of people for a little bit more time. So what you can actually check is you go into your CTR, frequency, and you look into your frequency and you adjust it to weekly and monthly to see whether your frequency is coming up high. So if it's really coming up high, in fact, creative fatigue is not the end of the world. A lot of people would actually change creative, but having said that, right, let's say if you're targeting a 5 million people and you're only spending about like $10 per day, you probably only reach about maybe 100,000 of all these 5 million people. So creative fatigue only means your ad is clogged up to a bunch of people that keep seeing your ad. So what you can actually do is you can actually apply exclusion. So that's something that I teach in my Facebook Ads Masterclass. If you want to learn that, then you can actually join that. But exclusion usually helps reduce the frequency. And of course, it solves the creative fatigue as well. But then again, if your ad has been running for too long, then probably it's time for you to probably give it a refresh from time to time. So that's what you can do. Okay. Now, the next one is coming from CTR. What is the acceptance CTR and where is it in the industry? Generally, the CTR all is 2%. CTR link click is 1%. That applies to all industries. That's our benchmark. So if you are below, then probably it's time to change creative and test it. But then again, these are just one single set of metrics. When it comes to meta ads optimization, we look at a connection that's like multiple metrics combined to give better so-called diagnosis on the campaign performance to build a plan, not just test one thing at a time randomly. It's about building a plan so that we know what we do, one step at a time. So everything is properly planned and everything is actually tracked. So that's the in my opinion, the proper way of optimization. So if that's something that you want to do, it's there. Scan this QR code and we can actually do this together in a Zoom call. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. There are quite a number of you joined here today. Thank you for watching. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to pop your question on any of my YouTube videos. Just pop them as a comment. And join me the following Sunday to, listen to my answers. And of course, if you can join me here, you guys are doing, just bring your questions to the live session and we can actually have discussion. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next week. All right. Thank you. Good night. Bye.